Every free agency, a few teams will heavily benefit. There will only be a handful of franchise-changing players, and the sad reality is, less than half of NBA teams have a superstar on their roster. Despite the massive signings of the LeBrons and KDs of the world, of course all the summer attention will be focused on them, but some of the most impactful free agent signings doesn't always come from big-time superstar players. Many very good players, even considered road guys, became crucial pieces when without them, the team likely would have not won a title or even be in position in contention. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Let's take a look at 15 powerful signings from non-superstars nobody thought anything of when they signed as free agents. Starting with Michael Petras, 2008-2009, signed with the Orlando Magic. After 5 seasons in Golden State, the 6'6" small forward could have taken more money going elsewhere. A young team with 22-year-old superstar Dwight Howard, Stan Van Gundy loved Petras' style of play, complimenting him as a 3-and-D after falling out of Don Nelson's rotation in 08. 4 years, 21 mil, and off the bench guy who can spread the floor. Without the Petras signing, Orlando likely wouldn't have beaten Cleveland. 24 games off the bench for the playoffs, 10.5 point average, absolutely dominant. For the series against the Cavs, 14 points a game, 51% shooting, super efficient, 17 of 36 from 3, outscored the Cavs bench by himself in every one of those wins. Super forgotten, underrated role player. The assignment guarding LeBron and Kobe in back-to-back series deserves a high reward in and of itself. Safe to say Orlando wouldn't have made the finals without Eric Francis' production. Way more efficient than Ray Allen in the semis, a grinder, did all the little things. Fans wishing LeBron got to play Kobe in the 09 finals will always have nightmare about Petras' long bomb the entire series. James Posey, Boston Celtics. Summer 07, as if the Garnett and Ray Allen to the Celtics trade wasn't enough, the 30-year-old 6'8" small forward landed a 2-year $7 million deal with a player option, strong backup defensive presence, a 6-man candidate, averaged 7.5 points, over 4 rebounds, a 66-win team, can wear guys down while hitting dagger threes, stepped up his game in the finals, great defense on Kobe, a multitude of wing defenders wore down the Lakers. His masterpiece Game 4 helped his team come back down 25, netting in 18 points, 4 of 8 from 3, outscored Kobe that game, drained the dagger bomb to put Boston up 92-87 with 1:13 left. Boston doesn't win that game without Posey's brilliance. Series could have easily been 2-2. Posey the difference maker for the Celtics bench. Teammate Eddie House deserves an honorable mention too. Mehmet Okur, 2004 to Utah. The 6'11" center, one of the original stretch fives, would excel in today's game. A second rounder, part of the 04 Detroit title team. Off the bench, barely played that postseason, but with the Jazz already signing Carlos Boozer as a restricted free agent, who was already proven as a pretty good player, Okur 6 years $50 million wasn't needed by the Pistons due to having Rasheed Wallace, a 10-6 guy the previous year. The 25-year-old spent the next 7 seasons in Salt Lake, averaged over 15 points, 7.5 rebounds, even made the 07 All-Star team, an 18-9 guy in his prime, a fun team with young Darren Williams. The insane length of Karolinko, Boozer, and Okur helped the team get to the conference finals, beating T-Mac and Yao's Rockets, drained 2 clutch 3-pointers on the road in Game 7, balled out worse than we believe Warriors, but a victim of Tim Duncan's Spurs and Kobe's Lakers 3 times whenever Okur's Jazz made the postseason. Fred VanVleet, 2 years $18 million deal, undrafted out of Wichita State, barely saw action his rookie season to slowly improving by year 2, played crunch time minutes in the playoffs. A perfect scenario before the DeRozan-Kawhi trade, started nearly half the year in 2019, averages of 11 points, 5 dimes, didn't look like he would be impactful in the playoffs, struggled the first 2.5 rounds. A laughable 3 of 24 shooting in the Philly series until the birth of his son, netted in double digits 8 of the last 9 games, nearly averaged 15 points, 51% shooting those games. 7 of 9 from 3, Game 5 versus Milwaukee, dropped 22 to close out versus Golden State, later earned himself a 4-year $85 million deal, became an all-star, the ultimate dream for an undrafted player. Chris Anderson, Miami Heat, 2013. After being waived by the Nuggets summer 2012, Pat Riley took a chance on the 34-year-old, signed 2 10-day contracts January 20th, turned out to be for the remainder of the season. Less than 2 weeks before making his Heat debut, Anderson's contagious energy and defensive plays, the dunks, part of the 27-game win streak, became a fan favorite. Even Pat Riley said the Heat wouldn't have won the title that year without Birdman's production. Went bananas in the playoffs, shot a perfect Rocket, 15 of 15, games 1-5 versus Indiana, 3 points, 4 rebounds, and a block game 7 versus the Spurs, 81% from the field that postseason, a playoff record, one of the most efficient role players you'll ever see from a title team, his hunger, wanting to win at all costs, very similar to Udonis Haslem 2006 when he won his first title. Derek Fisher 2007 signing with the Los Angeles Lakers. After his daughter had eye surgery, played for the Jazz, Fish, one of the many Lakers to leave the team after the Kobe-Shaq breakup, Fisher made a family decision to get his daughter the best treatment possible, which meant going back to Los Angeles, leaving the multi-million-dollar contract he signed, was gonna turn 33, signed a 3-year deal worth $14 million for the Lakers, averaged 10 points, 3 assists, a role player known for hitting clutch shots in late playoff moments. When he left the franchise, didn't get out the first round, consecutive round 1 exits, Kobe Bryant unhappy, although Fisher not anywhere close to star caliber, flawless leadership, started at the 1, a huge upgrade from Smush Parker. The similarities being the same draft class as Kobe, the maturity and experience both blended in perfectly. Parker lost his starting spot late in 07 to rookie Jordan Farmar. LA started to play more like a balanced team with Fish, instantly better chemistry, always ready to ball out, went on to play 82 games each of the next 4 seasons, never missed a single game in his second stint for the Lakers. Team instantly became contenders, 3 finals, 2 more titles, made a couple clutch plays in the finals, although he slowed down on D after 2008, a master at drawing charges and being at the right place, right time, the definition of an ultimate role player on a contender. Udonis Haslem 2003, Miami Heat, undrafted in 02, began his pro career in France, very unknown at the time, August 6 of 03, viewed as a borderline NBA talent. Haslem became the most beloved role player on the franchise. In his prime, a very solid power forward who did his best work guarding Dirk Nowitzki in the 06 finals, a starter for 5 seasons, numbers of 10.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, a deadly mid-range jumper. Haslem became the second most important player on the Heat between 2008 to 2010, knew how to play his role and contributed to winning 3 titles, kept the locker room together, was already pretty much a bench warmer when LeBron arrived. UD's last season averaging more than 4.5 points a game back in 2012, 58 regular season games from 2017 to 2022. Continues to live the dream, being on an NBA roster spot for God knows how much longer. Turkoglu 2004 Orlando Magic. For those of you who didn't watch the NBA during the mid-2000s, probably can't even guess what team Hedo played for before signing with the Magic. The answer is the San Antonio Spurs. His lone season with Duncan in 04, averaged 9.2 points, 4.5 boards, a solid role player, 6 years, $39 million, went on to play his best basketball, averaged 16 points, 4.5 boards, a solid playmaker and 3-point shooter at 6'10", can create his own shot, at times reminds us of a very poor man Doncic, excelled under Stan Van Gundy's system, even averaged 19.5 points in 08, shockingly never made an all-star team, a man possessed in the 09 playoffs, hit clutch jumpers, led the Magic in those finals, averaged 18 points on 49% shooting, him and Rashad Lewis being 6'10" at the 3 and 4 with the imposing Dwight Howard down low, the 09 Magic team ahead of their time with their innovative 3-ball style. Tony Allen Memphis Grizzlies, 3 years, $10 million. Nobody expected Allen to have his number retired for the franchise, one of the more unlikely impactful players all time. After 16.5 minutes for Boston in 2010, became one of the best defensive players in the game, built up the grit and grind era, all 6 defensive teams with the Grizzlies, including 3 first teams, contagious effort and energy, way better than what his stats show. Already 29 years old when signing, Grizz fans didn't know how Allen would help the team. While Rudy Gay was the biggest name on the roster at the time, Allen proved more impactful. Gay went down with injury. Allen's presence changed the whole culture of the team. 6 seasons with the franchise, 6 playoff appearances, 1 conference finals, played some of the best perimeter defense you'll ever see on Kevin Durant, the grind fodder, sometimes into Durant's head. Excellent instincts, size, work ethic, and hustle, but limited offensively. Memphis just wasn't good enough scoring the ball to make it out the West. Bruce Bowen's San Antonio Spurs, after the team got destroyed by Kobe and Shaq's Lakers in 01, humiliating fashion. After making defensive second team, Bowen, the perfect guard needed to guard Kobe, viewed as Sean Elliott's replacement, became vital to the team's D, arguably a top 3 defensive wing in the 2000s, while Duncan was a top 3 defensive big in his prime, 3 titles, 7 defensive teams including 5 first teams. A master at the corner threes, drained over 40% from deep in 8 seasons with the Spurs. Mr. Reliable, 5 straight seasons playing all 82 games. Last 7 seasons with the Spurs, only missed 3 total games. After missing 23 in 2002, has quick feet, questionably dirty, shot 44% from deep in 2003. Did his best work guarding Nash in those Sun Spurs series and containing Billups in the 05 finals. Had his jersey number retired by the franchise. Jimmy Butler 2019, when he decided to not run it back with Philly, declined his $18.8 million player option, a sign and trade to go to a 39-43 Heat team. Many thought the 29-year-old made a huge mistake, leaving Embiid and Simmons to joining a bunch of role players on a team that was going to be mid-playoff caliber, but Butler surprisingly exceeded expectations, became a great leader on his own team, played some of his best career ball. First 3 seasons, averages of 21, over 6 and 6, 2 conference finals, 2 finals wins being shorthanded, averaged 23.5 points, 7 boards on 48% shooting. His first 3 playoff appearances with the Heat, outplayed other team superstars many times. Jimmy Bucket proven to be a Heat legend. The Sixers still hasn't gotten past the second round since Butler's departure. Andre Iguodala 2013, losing to Golden State as a Denver Nugget. Iggy decided to join the team that beat him, declined the 5-year deal with Denver, agreeing to 4-year $48 with the rising backcourt of Steph and Clay, the best decision of his career. 9 seasons later, a 4-time champion, 1-time finals MVP, came off the bench year 2, added to the culture, proven to be an excellent teammate. In the Hall of Fame conversation, if Iggy decided to sign elsewhere, his name would have been forgotten. Nobody imagined the Dubs to contend as quickly and shocked everybody, winning the 2015 title after a surprising 67 regular season dominance. That was only the beginning of a dynasty. The rest is history. Steve Nash 2004, 5 years 55. The 30-year-old had back problems. His improvement and image changed overnight. From somebody who wasn't even selected to the All-Star team in 2004, Nash quickly became a revolutionary type point guard, a glimpse of what the modern NBA would look like, the most unlikely MVP winner. The Suns single-handedly became the most exciting team in basketball. Nash crazy efficiencies, the ultimate team player, never took a bad shot, made everybody better. Too bad the West loaded with contenders like San Antonio, Dallas, and later Kobe's Lakers. Became a back-to-back MVP winner. Amari and Shawn Marion became household names. Nash's impact simply just astonishing. Nobody back in 2004 would have envisioned Nash as one of the top 5 to 10 best point guards all time. Before that Suns signing, there were at least 10 other point guards many would have taken over Nash if you asked them back in summer of 04. Chauncey Billups 2002, viewed as a bust early with the Celtics, bounced from 5 different teams. Rick Pitino gave up on him halfway through his rookie season, 29 games with Toronto, briefly with Denver, before a season-ending injury, dealt to the Magic, then to the Wolves for 2 seasons where he showed promise, but nothing too special. The backup point guard behind Terrell Brandon. After Brandon hurt his knee, Billups proven to be promising. A duo of Chauncey and KG could have won a title or 2. Billups wasn't viewed fondly around the league, a journeyman who didn't live up to his third overall pick standards. Ownership wanted to retain Brandon and didn't give Billups much of an offer. Brandon would never play another NBA game again. Minnesota choosing a retired player over the 25-year-old Billups, an absolute travesty of a decision. When signed with Detroit, the rest was history. 6 straight conference finals, 1 title, finals MVP, and the best defensive team of the century. Mr. Big Shot, one of the best fundamental point guards the game has seen. The size, strength, could defend, a great leader, deadly from 3, very clutch, controls the tempo. Mr. Big Shot, arguably the best non-superstar leader, possibly all time. His numbers truly don't define his impact. Just look at the wins from his teams. Every season with the Pistons, 50+ wins, to 2 seasons with the Nuggets, and then look at those teams before and after without him. The results don't lie. Honorable mentions includes Chris Middleton resigning with the Bucks 2019 and Ray Allen to the Heat. Middleton already viewed as a good player and an all-star, but his 2021 postseason run, amazing. While Allen was still a good role player, hit the most clutch shot in finals history. Everybody knew these 2 signings made the teams better. While Rob Pelinka 2019 deserves credit for his masterpiece signings of Dwight Howard, Rondo, Caruso, Doug Lee, KCP, McGee, and someone Avery Bradley. After overpaying for Danny Green, everybody fitted in nicely. The team very well would have won a title even if it wasn't for the bubble. Thank you so much for watching this video. Which one of these free agent signings surprised you most on how good the player became? Let me know in the comments below. I love all of you. See you next time.